I know one thing. The narrative is not going to be J.P. McCura and M.K.N. It's not going to be the narrative. Because there are two sides to the story. There are two sides to the story. There was a reason that their coach was issued a technical in the game. There's a reason for that. I know that reason because the official told me what happened. So I'm not going to have the narrative be anything other than us playing better than Cincinnati and beating Cincinnati today. Beating. As far as he would never play on my team, I'm going to go back to 2009 and 2010 when I was the head coach. And Lance Stevenson in front of me, right in front of me, called me the N-word 3 times and said, F you. After the game, guess what I did? I shook his hand. I shook his hand. That's it. That's it. There is no narrative. There is no narrative. We won. A year ago, we got our ass kicked. Guess what Max said? Got our ass kicked. Shook hands. I'll answer questions about that, about the game. I'm not answering any questions about he said, she said, when there's two sides to the story.
Chris, it seemed like you guys had about as good of a start as you could have had. It could have won it in the first 8 minutes or so. Did you feel like everything that you had put into play was clicking? You were able to keep UC off their game?
Yeah, I thought our guys came out and played with great energy. You know, I was super excited that that energy didn't spill over to turnovers and wild shots and bad moments. I think it was placed in the right spots. We were fronting the post. We did not let them get an offensive rebound in the first 4 minutes of the game, which, man, it's all we preached for 3 to 4 days in the lead up. And if you can keep a team like Cincinnati off the glass and take care of the ball, which we didn't do the last 6 to 7 minutes of the game, if you can do that, you give yourself a chance to win. And that's what we did today.
Karen Cantor has never played in a shootout before, but had his best game in a Xavier uniform.
Boy, did he.
Is it just a progression of him getting to this point, or is this the player that you always thought would be here when you
I mean, a little bit of both. You know, every player goes through their ups and downs, and, you know, Karam's, you know, it's an adjustment when you're a fifth-year senior and you're learning new friendships, a new school, new style of play, competition level. He was playing very well in the preseason before we started playing games. Then our first few games, exhibition, first couple games, it was he displayed a lack of confidence, which was sort of shocking. But he's really found it in the last week or so, and his teammates have found a lot of confidence in him, which is just as important. And I mean, to go 18 minutes and 17 points and do it as efficiently as he did, he rebounded the ball. You know, he's such a difference maker for our team.
Chris, the first 25, 28 minutes were comprehensive from you guys, and then you kind of had to grind it out over the last 12, 10 minutes. What do you think was the key there down the stretch?
The grinding it out?
Yeah.
Our whole focus when they pressure us is to attack to score. We want to get layups and open threes. You know, Skip Prosser used to talk about if a team presses you and you just get it over half court and take a deep breath and hand it to your point guard, it's essentially a free press. And so we wanted to make sure that if you're going to press us, you're going to pay at the other end with threes and layups. Of course, you want them to go in. Usually in transition or they're out of the press, it's hard to block out because you're trying to find guys versus, you know, knowing your matchups. Probably a little bit of my fault down the stretch with 7 or 8 minutes. Our guys kept playing that way. When you're up 24, 25, whatever the score was, you got to bleed the clock a little bit and make them to make defensive mistakes. And then you give UC a lot of credit of, you know, they have that never quit. They're going to play hard for 40 minutes. You know, we hadn't been in that situation before, holding a big lead.
Coming off Arizona State, what's the last week, or 2 games last week, told you about your team?
Nothing that I didn't know. It's a matter of getting it out of them and getting it out of one another. You know, I think our offense at times will dictate how hard we play on defense, and that doesn't happen to elite teams. And I think that's where we have to get to. We have a lot of young guys and old guys. I guess our whole team that don't really understand that at times.
Chris, can you sort of elaborate on the value that having a shooter like Trey, what it does for your offense?
Well, I mean, we try to use him in unique ways, but he's got such a quick trigger, you know, and We have played him less at the 4 and a lot more at the 3 because of the emergence of Karam and Kaiser Gates. But you know, when you have a guy that is prolific of a three-point shooter as Trey is, you know, it helps the other guys because their guys are so attuned. And